The Quatz, even though it's Quatz, not Quartz, people kept telling me off for saying that when I did the video for this. It needs 2 Argon Crystal to build. It is a Mastery Rank 9, as I think I mentioned before. 5 Neurodes. The blueprint is in the marketplace. The Rabido, 4,200 is actually quite a bit. The salvage is easy enough to get, but this thing has a weird way of firing. And it really doesn't start off well for it because it has 0 Forma on it, which means more than likely it's going to need at least 2, possibly 3 Vs on this. Its firing mode, however, did surprise me. The auto fire is when you aim from the hip, though it's actually not, because everybody keeps telling me this. Oh, it's auto fire, you can't aim with auto fire. What you do is aim with auto fire, start auto fire, so start shooting from the hip, then aim, and surprise, surprise, the auto fire keeps going. It's inaccurate as all kinds of insanity. It's just, I know it has a 40% accuracy, sorry, 40 accuracy. I guess you could say it's 40% out of 100, because if it's 100% or 100 accuracy, then I don't think anything's ever gone past that. But anyway, it's got 40 accuracy in full auto, but it recoils like crazy. And the magazine isn't that big either. It is actually lots of fun. I used to use the Vipers all the time, the auto mode. Quite a surprise, because I aim my weapons a lot, and when you aim the weapons, it goes into burst fire, or the best way to put this would be shotgun mode. First time I fired this, I thought this had a shotgun secondary mode. It doesn't. It is accurate, very accurate at range actually, which was surprising considering the automatic mode, and I liked it. It was a weird thing to have an alternate fire mode that is basically aimed on aiming rather than changing the firing mode, but I really did like the fact that aiming it had one function and from the hip had another, which is something that I hadn't done before, and I kind of preferred it in its aimed. I'm still going to call it burst mode, though it reminded me a lot of a shotgun secondary. I loved the Brak a lot, and this, not a single bit of disappointment using this, to the point of I formatted it 4 times with 4 Vs just to put on the obviously Hornet Strike, Lethal Torrent, Barrel Diffusion, Burst Mode, Multi-Shot always go well together, but the other 2 Vs, and very keen-eyed people will notice that Prime Target Cracker was not in a format polarity. Barrel Diffusion is an 11-point mod, swapping the 2 would have given me an extra point, but I have 0 mod capacity left with this build because I also have Auger packed in there. Ice Storm is in there because I have this set up for magnetic because I was using it against the Corpus. How you set it up though just depends on how you use it. If you shoot from the hip and then start aiming, assuming that they don't remove that because that is actually a really nice feature, yeah, building it more towards the status, it's just a shame it won't go to 100% without using more status mods than the dual elemental stuff. If you like to fire it down sight, then the burst fire mode, it's more accurate, but you want to build it more towards the crit because it is more crit based for that. It does still have some status. I mean, it's the one that I had without any elemental mods or dual stat elemental mods in there did go to 44.6. There is probably some weird combination of the 2 that you could build, but I built this for both. As weird as that is, I don't tend to do that often, have an A configuration and a B configuration, but I just prefer shooting this down sight so it's in a burst fire mode because it's more accurate. Yeah, you use a lot more rounds, but the ammo kind of lasts a bit longer because you're not trying to overcompensate from that auto fire mode that has just a killer recoil. But it's a 24 fire rate, it's expected. As for that reloading from a fully empty magazine, that is a 8-meter shockwave that stuns nearby enemies with the electrical damage this thing has on it. at least it adds the proc. It doesn't really seem to do a great deal of damage, but it's great for a little bit of crowd control if they're getting too close and they're around you. Also great because, well, if they're too close, you don't tend to aim down sight, so you'll be shooting it in full auto mode anyway, which will empty the magazine better, which means that this reloading when the magazine is completely empty with the 8-meter shockwave stunning nearby enemies, yeah, that actually, I didn't use it that often because I reload weapons as soon as I get a chance, so when an enemy comes I have a full magazine. So it's a weird habit I got into from using the the twin Vipers all those years ago that I still kind of do, because I don't know, it's just the way that I ended up being stuck in playing the game. But it's a great little feature that I kind of wish it did a lot more electrical proc in that 8-meter range, first being one of the things that it advertised, because it's in the description of the weapon. A compact 4-barrel design packing a self-charging capacitor that discharges upon every reload from empty. But it deals pretty low damage and the shock doesn't really... Honestly, Wisps, electrical first, probably better than this. Actually a lot better than this. But anyway, we'll leave this off here for now. Thanks for watching and I'll catch you next time.